Yeah. Rogue Nation 845. Yeah. SVR. Check it. Check it. Newburgh. I'm not promising it won't be tough, or the path that we travel on won't be rough. Just promise me you won't give up, cause honestly you gon' get cut. I promise that we'll make it through, as long as you promise to always stay true. Cause honestly the days are few, and even those ain't promised to you. So tighten up your Timbs, yeah we marching the long haul. This fight that we in, it's gonna take all we have inside. If we let it pass, we die. You wasting time asking me why. Stop dragging behind, get your axe to the grind, or get your ass out the way. We move fast with little words to speak, but remember what we say, and what we did, and how we breached the barrier. Bleach the game, leak the fame, lead the lane, bleed the lane. We the change foretold, written on old scrolls. Now hit him before the light, now hitting them with the right, left, uppercut, the sweep. Another nut cracked, while in the back the family weeps. Yeah, while in the back the family weeps. So tell your kids how darkness covered the land, and then God made a spark that brought light to uncover the plan. Discovered it and ran, covered it in sand, then covered it the lands. Yeah, you can cut it into grams, ram it in your ears. Store for the famine that's coming in future years. But let's make one thing clear, we have no more fear, no jars left to store the tears. The war is here, not everything you see is really what it is, and not everything that breathes really lives. You silly kids, leave the tricks to the rabbits. If you believe you can have it, just reach out and grab it. Not everything you see is really what it is, and not everything that breathes really lives. Silly kids.
Somebody knocking on my door. Somebody knocking on my door. Across your line. Well, across that soil. Just right across your line.
Thanks, bro.
How you doing?
Good, how you doing? You don't mind me filming, do you? Get you out there.
We're chopping salmon. We're cutting June.
Hey, can I ask what your name is?
Pardon me?
What's your name?
Paul, what's yours?
Sam.
Sam? Nice to meet you, Sam.
Nice to meet you, Paul. You do this a lot?
Yeah, I go over by Beacon, down by the landing. Get around a little bit.
How long you been playing music?
For a while, a number of years.
Yeah. What
nice day for it.
Yeah. What made you want to come out here and do this?
I seen all the trees broken down. They don't look too good. Maybe they could use a few songs. I don't know.
Nice. It's beautiful, man. Keep it going.
I got a couple of that. That's real cool.
And I was just walking around and I heard music playing, and you know I love live music, and I heard him playing and I decided to come check it out, and he said he was just playing in nature because he felt like they needed it. If that is not an inspiration right there, I don't know what is. Shout out to Paul. Keep doing your thing, Paul. Newburgh, New York. So we are back at Plum Point, everybody, to finish off the season. I thought it'd be a good idea to come back to where it started all those weeks ago and just do a vlog to finish off the season and get y'all ready for the next season that'll be coming. Can't give you a date on the next season because I'm constantly working on videos, but this will be the final episode of this season and definitely more seasons to come. Also, the music is bumping out there too. This last vlog, I wanted to focus on family and what family means to me, what family should mean to you, what family means to people around the world. Now, I've noticed over the years that there's been a straying away from family. I remember when I was little, we used to have family gatherings of like 50 people in a packed upstairs apartment, playing bingo, eating rice and beans. The adults were drinking coffee, the kids were drinking hot chocolate, playing games in the rooms, watching movies on VHS. I'm dating myself, but I remember a time where family used to get together and it was such a sense of love in that gathering. And now that I look back, it was just a gathering of poor people who didn't have money or didn't have that much money. It was just okay, but we were getting together on special occasions. Even not on special occasions, we would just visit my cousin's house on a Friday, end up sleeping over till Sunday, that type of thing. And it was just such a sense of unity. And as the years went by, I started to see the decline of it. I started to see less and less. Part of the reason was that people were moving away from where we were at. They were moving away from the city that we lived in. And, you know, it was just less and less people. And my house and my grandmother's house and my aunt's house would always be like a main place for everybody to gather. And my grandmother moved to Puerto Rico, so that was one place out of the fix. Then my aunt moved with my cousins to Puerto Rico, and that was another place out of the mix. So it was kind of like my mom and a few others that were holding it down. And then more and more people were just moving. They were moving to Florida, they were moving to Puerto Rico. And the family circles just began to get smaller and smaller and smaller. And usually you think, you know, new generations, because there were babies being born. There were a lot of little second cousins being born, third cousins. And I just didn't see the newer generation replacing the older generation. And now it's at a point where there are no gatherings. And if there is gatherings, I may get an invite once in a blue moon. And it's kind of disturbing because if there is gatherings, you're not gathering with all the family. Because I talk with other family members as well, and they're like, ain't nobody invite me anywhere. I'm like, then nobody invite me either. So I guess like these family circles have gotten to their own little space that they don't want, they necessarily don't want to be bothered with the whole gathering thing. I was invited to a couple, I'm not gonna lie, and ones that I just couldn't make because it was just out of the blue and I just didn't have time. But it's just so different now. It's just so different, and I don't doubt the love that we all have for each other as a family. But I do think one of the reasons why we don't speak to each other like we used to is because of little things that have happened, maybe big things that have happened, that have caused a rift inside the family. inside mine, maybe inside yours. Oh, this person was gossiping about this person, or this person said this about this person. And oh, did you know this person did this? And it's just a lot of things, unnecessary things. Like, in my belief, everybody needs to have a conversation. Because there's never gonna be a point in life where you go through life and nothing bad happens, nothing offends you, or nobody says anything that puts you on the wrong side of the tracks. There's never gonna be a situation like that. So if we don't learn how to conversate with each other and come to an understanding of why we're upset or what it would take to move past that, then, you know, speaking for my family, it's just gonna end. And the newer generations aren't gonna know about the gatherings that we had. They're not gonna know about the unity that we had, and they're just gonna have their own gatherings with their immediate circle and their friends. So currently, as we know, I am quarantine unemployment. So I can't even offer a place where we can gather or anything like that. But that's always been a big dream for me, and that's always been a big goal, to have a house or have a place where you can invite people. And it doesn't even have to be a house, because my grandmother would be throwing it and my aunt would be throwing it in a top floor of a 3 apartment building. And we'd have mad fun. It'd be like 50 people packed in there. And from like 7 o'clock to like 11 o'clock, 12, just people constantly coming every hour. And every time they come through the door, it'd be like, hey, ¿cómo está? You know what I mean? So, I say, ¿cómo está? ¿Cómo está? That's slang. ¿Cómo estás? Usted. But, you know, bendición to all the adults that come in. You know what I mean? Saying hi to all the family that you haven't seen in a while. And, you know, those problems have creeped in. And some of those problems could be financial problems. Some of those problems could be religious problems. Some of those problems could be political problems. I think we've just gotten to a point where everybody is just so sensitive that either they don't want to go to a gathering because they don't want to talk about these things, or they just don't want to be around it, period. And I think it's really sad. I think it's really, really sad that that's going on. And you know, maybe I played a part in it. Maybe I should have went to some gatherings that I was invited to that I didn't. And maybe they see the same thing about me that I'm saying. And now I'm thinking, I'm like, if I did something wrong, or maybe they did something wrong. If I did something wrong, maybe I gotta find a way to make that right. If they did something wrong, maybe I gotta find a way to let it go. You know what I mean? Not necessarily saying you have to be on the best of friendships with people, but you can have a respect. Like, a mother can call a son can call a father. Like, there should, like, I would say there should be nothing that stops you from talking, but I know reality. I know there are things that people have done that people don't want no part of anymore. And it doesn't matter that they're blood family or not. They just want no part of it anymore. And I get that. And I'm not here to tell you to forget all that and go for that. I'm just here to give you extra insight, another option to say to you, is it that bad? If it's that bad, hey man, you gotta do what you gotta do. But if it's not that bad, and it's only like a little sense of a little pride, I would encourage you to keep trying to get back into their good graces, or trying to just get together and be a family again. And I want a house, I want land, so that I can throw these family gatherings. I can invite everybody. I can invite so-and-so and so-and-so, even though I know they don't get along. But you're gonna get along at my place, because at my place is where we're gonna figure this out. And if you can't figure it out after my place, then I'm gonna let you go do what you gotta do. But I'm gonna gather with everybody else that's here. But we at least gonna have that one conversation where we get together. At least that one conversation where we get together. And we talk about how we can solve this. Like I know people that don't even speak to their own mothers. People that don't speak to their own fathers. And it's not even because they've been abused by them or anything like that. It's literally off of words and interpretations. And somebody said this, oh, well then that means they meant that. I think one of the biggest problems we have with each other is that we assume things of what people say. Like people will say a line and automatically we refuse to listen to that one line and we're already conjuring up what it means behind that line. Now, yes, there could be things behind that mean something, but that doesn't necessarily mean when a person makes a statement every time that they're doing it in a malicious way. Some people are just not knowledgeable of how certain people feel, and they don't know that certain things bother them. And that's why we need to have a conversation. And after that conversation, if they still don't want to recognize it, then you're adjusting everything that you are talking about that you don't want to deal with. And I get that. And you shouldn't be around that, and you should separate yourself from that. But we're in an age now where corporations and government are not promoting family. Yeah, Republicans will say, oh, we're the family party, this and that, we're against abortion, this and that. And excuse my language, it's a bunch of bullshit. Because they're all corrupt. They talk about their family members and this and that, strong family, and then this one gets caught in a scandal. This one sleeps with a porn star. This one does all that. Like, come on, give me a break. And same thing with the Democrats. Like, it's weird with the Democrats because a lot of the friends I have, they are on the left. And they do care for their friends and stuff like that. But a lot of ones on the left don't have that family. Like, I don't see family being an importance. And I guess the hypocrisy is, I don't see family being an importance, but they speak about unity. They speak about us getting together. I'm gonna tell you right now, there can't be no unity in us getting together if your family ain't together. If your home circle ain't together, if your house ain't together, then don't be speaking about having unity amongst other people. Because how are you gonna have unity amongst people if you can't even get your house in order? There's a lot of leaders out here who don't have their house in order, but they want to tell other people how to get to be united. And that's a big problem. That's one of the reasons why we are still stuck in where we are. It's one of the reasons that we haven't gotten anything as black and brown communities since the 60s, since 1964. Civil rights passed. After that, we have gotten nothing. Absolutely nothing. And that's why we're in the state that we are right now, where you see groups of kids out in the corner till 3 in the morning. Before it used to be small groups. Now they're huge groups. They're like 20 or 30 kids out at 3 o'clock in the morning doing nothing productive, doing nothing but smoking, drinking, and hanging out. And that's it. When I was young, we did that, but it was only like a few of us. Not to say that that was right, because it wasn't. And now that I'm older, I realize now that I've grown out of that, and I learned from that. But I see that what was once small groups are now like big groups of 30 and 40 people. And my thought is like, where are the families? Because I know when I was coming home at 3 o'clock in the morning, my mother was on top of me. Whether she wasn't judging me, but she'd be praying. I walked in, I'll tell you a funny story. One time, I came home at 4 o'clock in the morning. I was out with the boys chilling. We were getting lit, all that stuff. And I came home lit. And I went to open the door and it was really dark. And when I opened the door, there was like, when you kind of lit, things are kind of like blurry a little bit. And I opened the door and there was just this figure in white, glowing. And I was like, and I was shook and I was stuck. And all I could hear was my mother's voice saying, Sam, it's okay, it's me. And I stopped for a second, I looked at her and I was like, oh my God. I was like, Mom, what are you doing? You scared the shit out of me, what are you doing? And she started laughing. She's like, I was just praying for you. I've been praying for you for the last 2 hours. I've been praying for you, kneeling at the couch, praying for you to come home. and now you're home, and now I'm gonna go to bed, you know? And I was blown away. Thinking about it right now makes me think like, wow, I was blown away that I was out in the streets doing nothing, doing absolutely nothing but laughing and just nothing productive. And my own mother was sitting at home praying for me. How many kids out there got mothers at home praying for them today? And I'm not talking about no little 5-minute prayer in between the commercials of the favorite show you're watching. We don't really have commercials no more, but 5-minute interlude when you stop to go into the next episode, that little prayer. Now I'm talking about mothers and fathers that are praying for hours for their kids to come home. Hours, or just to keep them safe where they are. Where is that? We've taken such a step back from what's important in life. We don't pray for our families. We don't pray for our friends. Everybody's always trying to get over on somebody. Now, I love my family to death, but I'm one that knows that family don't support everything you do. Family will say a whole lot, I love you, oh, we should get together, this and that. But when you post, in my case, when you post a video, or in your case, when you post your business and all that, in my opinion, every single family member should be sharing it to support you. If you got a business and you put something out there, I'm sharing it, I'm promoting it. But family don't do that no more. Because family would rather criticize. Family would rather sit back and put on their religious cap and put on their political cap and say, before I share this and support my family member, does this align with my religious and political beliefs? Because those are more important than my family. That's how some of y'all think. And to me, it's a shame. It's a shame that y'all think like that. If y'all got a business out there and you part of my family, let me know. I'm supporting for you. We need to go hard for each other because all we got is each other. We have no equity in our communities. We have nothing. Ever since slavery, yeah, they freed our people from slavery and all that stuff, but they didn't give us anything to make up for it. That 40 acres and a mule never came. It never came. And all those families that owned slaves, those families built off of that wealth that they got off of slavery. Meanwhile, the slaves didn't have nothing. And here we are stuck to this day with nothing. Even after slavery, they didn't want to give us nothing. It took another 100 years or so for us to get civil rights. They freed us from slavery, but then they still said that we weren't worth, we were only worth 3/5 of a human. And it's very sad because now they've kind of like put us in a position where they brainwashed us to think, oh, I'm all about self. I need to take care about myself. I need to take care of myself. They brainwashed us into that position because we don't have nothing. And every time we try to build something, something comes along, like the pandemic that came along. And, you know, people got fired, people got laid off, people got unemployed, and they gave money to the corporations. They gave us $600 a week extended unemployment, but then they put in a clause, you know, well, we'll let the businesses bring back those people. So now you take those people who you laid off and you bring them back at a lower rate. And you cause people to not pick up the phone to go back to work because you put them in such a struggle that they need that $600 plus up. And they can't go back to work because you going back to work is making less money. That ain't helping. They've set it up like this. They gave corporations money. They gave it to them. But for the small businesses, there was like, here's a loan with conditions. And this has seeped through into our whole culture, into our whole society, where in poor black and brown communities, we have nothing. So we treat each other like nothing. I don't have $5. So why the hell am I gonna care if you got a business? Well, let me tell you why you should care. Because if you promote that person, if you put that person on, maybe that person's business grows to a point where now they can hire you, their own family, bring them on and hire more people. I'm just very I don't know, we're at a point where we need to change a lot of things. We need to get over the bickering. We need to get past our pride. We need to get back to family, back to love. Because God is love. And if you don't love your family, don't go around preaching about God or any other form of spirituality. What is the scripture that in the Bible? It says, how can you say you love God who you don't see and say you hate your brother who you do see? How can you say such a thing? This is blasphemy in God's eyes. For those of you that are spiritual and believe in God, that's blasphemy. You know, some people say, well, I don't want to talk to them because I don't agree with their beliefs. I don't agree with their politics. I don't agree with that. So what? I still love you no matter what. You a Trump supporter, I still love you. You a Biden supporter, I still love you. My love for my family is here. The religious, the political, and all these things are under here. Yeah, we can talk about them, but it will never replace this. And if you're replacing this with all this, you got a problem. You got a problem that needs to get fixed. Just, let's get over the pride, man. Let's move forward. So as I'm winding this down now, because I think I'm on a few minutes right now. We don't like to keep these long. I just want to encourage y'all to start reaching out to y'all families. I want to encourage y'all to start reaching out to people who you love, that you may have a problem with, or they may have a problem with you. Have a conversation. See if it can be settled. If it can't be settled, then move on. I got that. But if it can be settled, oh my God, you brought that family member back. They brought you back. You have that connection. It's a beautiful thing because we need to take care of each other. So moving forward in the next season, I hope to do a lot more positive things. With the election past us, by this time, whoever won has won. I don't know who it will be. It will either be Biden or Trump. But all I know now is that's past us now. And hopefully in that time period, no new pandemic has happened and we can move forward. Because 2020 was a horrible year, man. 2020 was a horrible year. And 2021 has the potential to be a great year. For new beginnings, as people say. We always say this thing every year. Oh, it's a new beginning. It's a new beginning, this and that. But I think 2020 has showed us, yeah, it might be really a new beginning in 2021. And you need to take advantage of that. So, shout out to everybody that was supporting this season. I hope you enjoyed all the vlogs. Shout out to friends and family that share the posts and continue to support. I need to move stuff because the water is starting to creep in right now, and I'm getting a little worried that my equipment's gonna get wet. So until next season, this is SVR 845. Make sure you like and subscribe below. Thank you again for all the support. Be safe out there. Take care of your families. Take care of your friends. God bless, and have a good one.
You already know. To the end. Not everything you see is really what it is, and not everything that breathes really lives. You silly kids. Leave the tricks to the rabbits. If you believe you can have it, just reach out and grab it. Not everything you see is really what it is, and not everything that breathes really lives. You silly kids. Leave the tricks to the rabbits. If you believe you can have it, just reach out and grab it. Not everything you see.